Hey, it's Dan. I'm from Intellijel and from Vancouver, Canada, and this is the first time we've been at NAMM for a while, so I'm excited to show you a bunch of our new wares that we've been working on. So the first one we've got here has been almost 2 years in the making. This is in collaboration with Jim Clark that we also worked on the other Cylonics module, the shapeshifter with. This is the Rainmaker. It's a 16-tap stereo spectral rhythm delay and comb resonator. So this thing is a bit of a beast. It does a lot of different things. Some of these that we're not even sure what it's capable of, but we can give you a sort of overview of the architecture. So up here we have the delay section, and it's up to a 20-second delay, stereo, 96 kilohertz, 24-bit, and there's 16 taps. Each tap has its own level, pan, multi-mode filter that can actually oscillate, and a granular pitch shift. And then you can choose how these different taps are summed together and how they're stacked up and where the feedback point is. So globally you have the ability to pitch shift the feedback and control of the tone with low and high and feedback control. And all of this is voltage control of course. And then within each of these individual taps there's a set of global controls including a built-in multi-waveform type of LFO. You have control of the level and rate, and a bunch of stuff to do with the grain settings for the pitch shifting part, how feedback is pitch shifted too, so you get these really weird rising and descending feedback patterns. You can slip the timing. There's groove settings too, so that you can set some specific ways that the taps are related to each other to create more interesting rhythms. And then of course you can edit each individual one. So that's the delay section, and then there's also this comb section. And the comb section is up to 64 taps, and every single, you can set up patterns for these two. And you can set up how the filtering occurs and the patterns for the levels and stuff too. You can do everything from very short times that would allow you to do flanging to sort of the typical comb filtering sounds, right up to really long delays that are all summed together for crazy echo effects. What's special about this section too is you can control the time in 1 volt per octave, and you can make it oscillate so that you can do, you can make it resonate so you can do carpless strong. That's why we put this in. And so you can get everything, like I said, from flanging to modeling of sort of resonant spaces, and get some really, really bizarre sounds out of that too. So when you couple these together and you have choices of how you route them to one another, or you keep things in parallel, you start to get these very, very complex patches possible.
Can you use the comb filter section independent of the spectral delay section? You
could if you change the routing and use it in mono, so that you would have one input goes to the delay and one goes to the comb. Or if you just want to use the comb period, you just turn the other effects off. So there's the capability to mute or bypass each one, and then to make things a little easier, we specifically added in the delay section a wet-dry balance, so that when you do some, like for example, if you set up a carpless strong patch and you had a sort of sitar sound, you'd probably want that 100% wet, but you might want to feed that into the delay and have that echoing off, and so you'd be able to do that and have a balance of the two. We also, to again help with the carpless strong stuff, we have this multifunction trigger button. So if I go up here, I can choose what it's assigned to do. So it could be to freeze the buffer, it could reverse the delay, randomize, and as I go through this list, there's this thing called ping input or shaped pulse. And both of those are kind of noise bursts that I can use to trigger the sections with. And so if I put a gate into trigger, and I have the carpless patch and I have 1 volt per octave, then I can play it like a normal synth. I don't need anything else. So if we want to hear some examples here, just load a preset and we turn up just gonna put my headphones on so I can hear. Routing, and I'm going to turn the trigger to be a randomize, and I'm going to go to destination and pick all. And now if I click this, you get a real range of kind of the crazy sounds that are possible. This is what I have feeding into it right now. I forgot to mention is that because the filters can oscillate, it's possible to do modal synthesis because you have 16 different filters that you could tune to a different frequency, and you have them in stereo too. And so you can't play that 1 volt per octave, but you can still adjust and manipulate them in interesting ways. There's these mod assignable destinations here, and I can pick different things from all the sections that I want to affect. So if I want to go to tap filter cutoff, select that. Tempo too. There's a clock out, so if I wanted to sync this to external things to this clock, or I could take a clock in and sync like a sequence or whatever else you want to it. I'm going to turn off the delay and just have the add some modulation, it gets really, really interesting.
So with these mod A and B inputs.
Yep.
And they're just assignable within like a matrix almost.
Yeah, well, there's only one destination for each one, but they can be stored with the patch. So every preset you load might have these. It's almost like a macro control, I guess you could say.
So when will it be available?
So let me just turn this down a bit. These ones are basically built right now. We just have a bit more firmware stuff to finish up, we're in the final beta testing, but they're sitting back at our shop waiting to go. So a couple weeks we'll have it assembled and ready, and then release them into the wild.
And what will be the price on that one?
They're going to be around $630. That's sort of our target price right now, and it could be a bit less, a bit more on top of that.
Excellent, well thank you very much.
Thanks.
Award-winning customer service. Fast, free shipping on most orders. Own the gear of your dreams today.